Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashali Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This morning, while we were discussing, I mentioned how cautious Srila Prabhupada was about approaching Radha Krishna's pastimes. It is not that Prabhupada didn't want us to discuss or delve into Radha Krishna's pastimes, but Prabhupada cautioned us that we must do it very carefully. Because if we do not have the proper understanding of who Krishna is, then these pastimes of Radha Krishna may have some adverse effects on us. Radha Krishna's pastimes are presented in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 12th canto. So Prabhupada cautioned us to very carefully study the Srimad Bhagavatam step by step, first canto, second canto, in this way. After gradually going up to 9th canto, after having proper understanding of who Krishna is, then we get into Krishna's very intimate pastimes of Vrindavan with Srimati Radharani. Srila Prabhupada also gave the way to approach Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada told us that we must first study the Bhagavad Gita. Because studying Bhagavad Gita, we understand who Krishna is. Krishna himself is revealing himself in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Bhagavad Gita. Thus we can approach Srimad Bhagavatam. But at the same time, Srila Prabhupada also gave the 10th canto in the form of Krishna book, where Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes have been revealed. So this way we can see how Srila Prabhupada wanted us to enter into Radha Krishna's pastimes, but very carefully. Carefully in the sense to have, by having the proper understanding of who Krishna is. Is Krishna an ordinary person? Or if Krishna is an ordinary person, then what is Krishna doing with this unmarried girls? If an ordinary person has some clandestine relationship with some other girl who he is not married with, is it considered to be very dignified or moral? No. But if we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then there is no harm in what Krishna is doing. He can do whatever he wants. Therefore, Krishna is the Lila Purushottam. And it has also been warned that Krishna's pastime should never be imitated. We should never try to imitate Krishna's pastimes. Krishna's pastimes must be worshipped. The Lila Purushottam's pastimes must be worshipped. But the Maryada Purushottam, Sri Ramchandra's pastimes can be imitated. If somebody wants to imitate the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he must imitate Lord Ramchandra. Better still, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came as a devotee. But Krishna should never be imitated. And Prabhupada also pointed out that people most of the people in this world want to imitate Krishna. But what kind of activities of Krishna they want to imitate? They want to imitate the activities of Krishna as Gopi Jana Vallabha. The lover of the gopis. But right after Gopi Jana Vallabha, Krishna has been described as Giri Radharani. That means the lifter of Govardhan hill. So if somebody wants to be a Gopi Jana Vallabha, then the qualifying factor is that he has to be a Giri Radharani. He must lift a mountain. That is why Krishna's pastimes should not be, Krishna's activities should not be imitated. Now, who is Krishna? Who is Krishna? Krishna is not only the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The original Supreme Personality of Godhead. From Him, all the other incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has or have manifested. Narayan is God, Vishnu is God, Ramchandra is God, but they all have originated from Krishna. Ramadi murtishu kala niyamena tishthan nana avataram akarod bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samabhavat paramah pumanjo. Ramadi murtishu, Ram, etc., Ram, Varaha, Nrsimha, Kurma, these are the Kala Niyamena Tishthan, expansions of the expansions of Krishna. Nana avataram akarod bhuvaneshu. In this way, Krishna has manifested various incarnations. But kintu, but Krishna swayam samabhavat paramo pumanjo. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From Him all these other incarnations have manifested. All these incarnations are parts of the parts of Krishna. So, this is what Krishna's identity is. Now, does it mean that these incarnations are anything inferior to Krishna? No, they're all Krishna. They're all Krishna. What to speak of all these incarnations? Even Krishna in the heart of every living entity as the Super Soul is also Krishna. The same Supreme Personality of Godhead. How? Just as Deepar Chireva Hidasantaram Abhupetya Deepayate Vivrita Hetu Samana Dharma. Just as one original lamp lights many other lamps, and after those lamps have been lit, then all the lamps give out equal amount of light. They all are equal. Similarly, Krishna is the original lamp from whom all these incarnations have appeared. So, Krishna's topmost activity in Golok Vrindavan with Srimati Radharani has been presented by our acharyas in various ways. But they have done that very systematically, step by step, gradually they have come to that understanding. There is a book by Sanatan Goswami, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that has come out in English. How many of you have received that book? Okay, those who have received it, please read the book, and those who haven't, please read the book. It's a very, very wonderful book. It gives a perfect understanding. Like, see the name of this book, Brihat Bhagavatamrita. Brihat means bigger, vast. Bhagavat, that is Srimad Bhagavatam, Amritam, nectar. The expanded nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam is this book. Now only the first volume, the first part has come out. The second part, the Brihat Bhagavatamritam, has been presented by Srila Sanatana Goswami through two parts. First part and second part. The first part has come out in one volume, but the second part will come out in 2 volumes. So in the first part and second part both, Srila Sanatana Goswami is presenting the understanding of the spiritual sky, step by step. The first part describes how Narad Muni is searching for the greatest devotee. And he came across a Brahmana who was very nicely worshipping his Shaligram Shila, which is non-different from Krishna. And Narad Muni thought that he is the greatest devotee. So when he approached this Brahmin, him, that he was the greatest devotee, then the Brahmana denied. He said, no, I am not a great devotee. Actually, that king in such and such country is the greatest devotee. You see, I am a Brahmin, so it's my occupation to worship the Lord. So when I worship the Lord, there is nothing special about it. But when a Kshatriya king, in spite of so many responsibilities, when he serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to recognize that he is a real great devotee. Then Narad Muni, who has the ability to travel with the speed of the mind. Narad Muni can just desire something and he can travel right to that place in no time. Not only in the material world, material nature, he can travel like that even to the spiritual world. In a flash of a moment, just like your mind, can't you travel with your mind? But the problem is that with us, our body stays here and our mind goes somewhere. But Narad Muni, he can travel with the speed of his mind. So Narad Muni immediately went to this king and he met the king and he saw what the Brahmana said was really true. The king although he was a king and he has so many different responsibilities to rule the kingdom and take care of so many affairs, but still he is worshipping the Lord with such care and love. So Narad Muni started to glorify the king. Oh, you are such a great devotee, you are the best devotee of the Lord. Then what did the king say? The king said, no, I am not a devotee of the Lord. I am just trying to serve the Lord in some way. But I am just an insignificant mortal. I am just a human being. The real devotee is Indra. So Narad Muni then immediately went to the heavenly planet and he started to glorify Indra as the great devotee, greatest devotee. Then Indra said, look, I am just an ordinary demigod. And I have so many flaws, so many defects, and I make so many silly mistakes that sometimes I become an object of humiliation. But the real devotee is actually Lord Brahma. So then Narad Muni went to Brahma and he started to glorify Brahma. Then Brahma chastised Narad. He said, Narad, so many times I told you not to unnecessarily glorify me as the greatest. But you don't listen to me. What's the matter with you? Why don't you listen to me? After all, I'm your father, I'm your guru. So I am not the great devotee. And he started to speak about his defects, his faults. So in so many times he made so many mistakes. He stole Krishna's cows, calves and Krishna's cowherd boyfriends. And he always feels so embarrassed about that act. And he said, real devotee is Lord Shiva. I am nothing compared to him. So then Narad Muni went to Lord Shiva and he started to glorify Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva said, no, Narad, I am not a devotee. And he started to speak about his defects. That look, I fought with Krishna, siding with Vanasura because just he is my devotee, he wanted my help and he prayed to me. And I came and I fought with Krishna. I failed to recognize him as the Lord, my Lord and Master. And you say that I am his devotee? If I was a devotee, then I would make such a silly mistake. I'll fail to recognize him. The real devotee are the residents of Vaikuntha. So they are so exalted devotees that the Lord is always with them. So then Narad Muni was about to go to Vaikuntha. Then Parvati said, yes, Narad, in Vaikuntha the greatest devotee is Lakshmi Devi. She wanted to have her gender established as the greatest. So, but then Lord Shiva said, when Narada was just about to go, then Narad Muni, Lord Shiva told Narad Muni that Narad, but actually even greater than the residents of Vaikuntha is actually Prahlad Maharaj. And he started to describe why Prahlad Maharaj is such a great devotee. Then Narad Muni went to Prahlad Maharaj and started to glorify him, that he is the greatest devotee. Then Prahlad Maharaj felt very embarrassed. He said, Narad Muni, I was just a little child. And it was my attachment to Krishna was just a childish attachment. There was no understanding of who Krishna is. But Krishna is so merciful that although I was facing so many difficulties, he saved me. And I don't actually deserve any credit for that. The real devotee is actually Hanuman. Because Hanuman is so dear to the Lord that he performs so many wonderful acts for the sake of Lord Ramchandra. He is a real devotee. So when Narad Muni went to Hanuman and started to call him, started to address him as the greatest devotee, then Hanuman started to cry. He said, why are you increasing this agony that is constantly burning in my heart? If I was a devotee, then would the Lord reject me like this? I don't get to see him. See what happens to me now. I have become bereft of his association, and I am constantly feeling this agony burning my heart due to his separation. Then Hanuman said, the actual devotees are the Pandavas. The Lord is always with them. So then Narad Muni went to the Pandavas. And then the Pandavas also declined and said, no, we are not the devotees. Actually, the real devotees are the Jadus. Krishna appeared in their family and they became his family members, his relatives. And Krishna is always with them. Our thing is, Krishna just took pity upon us because we just happen to be his cousins. And when we met, he was very affectionate towards us, and we somehow became attracted to him because he was our cousin. But actual devotion is not there in our hearts. Now, in this way, we notice one thing, that a true devotee doesn't consider himself to be a great devotee. A real devotee always finds his defects, his shortcomings, that how he couldn't become a devotee. And that is the nature of the spiritual reality. The closer we go to Krishna, the more unqualified we will feel ourselves to be. And that is why the devotees display such intense mood of humbleness. So then Narad Muni went to Dwarka and he met the Jadus. Then the Jadus pointed out that Uddhav is actually the greatest devotee. Of all of the Jadus, Uddhav is the greatest. Uddhav is so attached to Krishna that he is always with him. Before Krishna gets up in the morning, Uddhav comes to Krishna's palace. And he attains Krishna. Uddhav uses everything that has been left over by Krishna. He wears the dresses that Krishna has left. He eats what Krishna has left after eating Krishna's remnants. In this way, Uddhav is always, or Uddhav never accepts anything that doesn't belong to Krishna. That is not coming from Krishna. He's always just accepting only whatever is left by Krishna, leftovers of Krishna. And in this way, Uddhav is considered to be Krishna's very dear friend in Dwarka. Uddhav is Krishna's minister in Dwarka. He advises, he is so learned that he is the most wise of all the residents of Dwarka. And he is so wise that he even advises Krishna. And Krishna also depends upon him in all respects. And then, when Krishna falls asleep at night, then only Uddhav goes home. So he comes to attend Krishna before Krishna wakes up, and he goes to Krishna before, he leaves Krishna after Krishna goes to bed, after Krishna goes to sleep. So just by hearing the activities of Uddhav, Narad Muni experienced such an incredible joy within his heart that he found it difficult to walk. His legs were giving in. He was somehow staggering towards the inner chamber of Krishna's palace. And then when Narad Muni went there, he found that Krishna was still sleeping. And the queens were in great anxiety. And the queens were, some of them were crying that what happened to Krishna, he didn't wake up. And Krishna, he covered his body with a chadar, with a bed sheet. And Krishna, although he was awake, but he was feeling such agony that he couldn't get out of his bed. Then the queen started to discuss among themselves that actually Krishna's heart is always in Vrindavan. When during the day Krishna looks so absent-minded, as if his heart is somewhere else. Although he is in Dwarka, but from his activities and from his profile, it becomes clear that he is not here. He is somewhere else. So they had difficulty in figuring out where Krishna was during the day, but at night they could figure out where Krishna's mind actually was. When Krishna fell asleep, in his dream Krishna goes to Vrindavan. And he calls out to the gopis, he calls out to the cowherd boys, he calls out to the cows by their names. And in this way Krishna is always away in Vrindavan. During the day, his heart is in Vrindavan, and at night he goes to Vrindavan in his mind. So then Balaram came. Balaram said, these are all Krishna's act. He's just acting. If he's really feeling that bad, then why doesn't he go to Vrindavan? Then Uddhava explained why Krishna can't go to Vrindavan. Uddhava very elaborately explained. I won't get into that. But Uddhava explained why Krishna can't go to Vrindavan. And in this way, when Krishna heard about Vrindavan and his residents his associates in Vrindavan, then Krishna started to cry. And then Krishna fainted. So everybody became very worried. They started to cry. Then Ugrasen and all the Jadus those who are in the assembly hall, they came running, hearing the cry from inside the inner part of the palace. And then they started to wonder now what to do. Krishna fainted. So then Brahma came, and Brahma suggested that Krishna fainted due to his separation from the associates of Vrindavan. Now we have to do something. So Brahma called Vishwakarma and asked him to create a new Vrindavan. To create a new Vrindavan in the island in one of the islands in the ocean. So then Vishwakarma immediately made the new Vrindavan. Then Garuda was waiting there. So Balaram dressed Krishna up as a cowherd boy. And he also dressed up as a cowherd boy. He tucked Krishna's flute in Krishna's belt. And he carried his horn with him and the plow with him. And Krishna and Balaram flew to this new Vrindavan that Vishwakarma just created. New Vrindavan was the place where all the residents of Vrindavan's replica, the models, were created by Vishwakarma. All the personalities were there, but they were not the real personalities, they were just their forms. And then Balaram woke Krishna up. Narad Muni was watching. Balaram woke up Krishna. Krishna, wake up, it's already so late. What happened? Get up. Everyone is waiting to go to the pasturing ground. Many of them already has left. So Krishna woke up and Krishna said, Balaram, I had a strange dream. I dreamed that I became a prince. And there's my kingdom. And I got married. And you know to how many? 16,000 women. Balaram said, okay, let's go now. It's getting late. So, and then Krishna saw Mother Jashoda. And Mother Jashoda was just standing there as a statue. And Krishna started to address Mother Jashoda. Are you angry, Mother, that I woke up so late? I overslept today. Is that why you are not talking to me? Balaram said, come on, Krishna, it's getting late. Don't worry about Mother. And so Balaram dragged Krishna. But when Krishna came to Radharani, Krishna just completely collapsed. He started to address her as Praneshwari, the Lord of my heart, my life and soul. And the way Krishna was dealing with Srimati Radharani, from that Narad Muni could understand. Nobody had to tell him now who is the greatest devotee. So in this way, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the greatest devotee had been established in the first part in this way. Another short approach I will make about establishing Srimati Radharani. This was done by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Roy, what is the ultimate goal of life? And Ramananda Roy told him that the ultimate goal of life is to practice Varnashram Dharma. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected that proposal. He said, well, that is external. Although Ramananda Rai quoted from the scriptures, saying that the goal of life is to follow Varnashram Dharma to please Krishna. There is no other way to please Krishna but following Varnashram. Varnashrama charo bata purushena parak puman Vishnur aradhate pantha nainam tattosha karanam. There is no other way to please Krishna besides following Varnashram. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected that, saying that that's external. The following Varnashram Dharma is a material consideration. It deals with the modes of the material nature and guna and karma. Accordingly, one gets his body, and Varnashram is the dharma of the body. Sometimes you are Brahman, sometimes you are Kshatriya. But tell me, what is the real goal of life? So then Ramananda Roy pointed out that to follow the process of karma yoga is the ultimate goal of life. And he quoted from the scriptures, Jat karosi jadasnasi jat juhasi dadasi jat jat tapushoshi kaunteya tat kurusha madarpanam. Krishna himself is telling, Arjun, whatever you do, jat karosi jadasnasi, whatever you eat, jat juhasi, whatever you offer in sacrifice, dadasi jat, whatever you give in charity, jat tapushoshi, whatever austerities you perform, tat kurusha madarpanam, just offer them to me. Offer the results of all these activities to me. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected that also, said, Iho bhajyo, age kahuva. This is also external. Tell me what is beyond that. Then Ramananda Rai pointed out that karma tyag is the ultimate goal of life. Sarva dharman parittajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is also external. Tell me what is beyond that. Then Ramananda Roy said Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhakting labhate param. Beyond karma, beyond gyan, when one becomes situated in pure devotional service, being situated in Brahma Bhuta platform, at that point one receives the devotional service. So, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected that also. So say something beyond that. Then Ramananda Roy pointed out about the pure devotional service. I'm sorry, the previous one was the Brahma Bhuta platform. It was not, it was the Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So previous one was Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Brahma Bhuta platform. So Ramananda Roy then told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about pure devotional service that is devoid of jnana and karma. And he pointed out that sthane sthitva shruti-gatam tanubang manobhi. When being situated wherever one is, with his body, mind and words, serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then prayasho ajitopi tistrailokam, that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is inconquerable, ajita, he can be conquered. And to support this statement, he made another point, that is, annabhilashita sunnam jnana karmad anapritam anukullena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. The uttam bhakti, the pure devotion, is when one becomes free from any other desire besides pleasing Krishna. Free from jnana and karma. Then he becomes situated on the pure devotional platform. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that's right. This he accepted. Yes, yo hoy. This is right. But tell me what is beyond that. Then Ramananda Rai told him about Shanta, Bhakti in Shanta Ras. Then he went to Dasya Ras. Then he went to Shakha Ras. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept on saying, tell me what is beyond that. He went to Shakha Ras, then he said, the Madhurya Ras is the highest of devotion. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that is right, but tell me what is beyond that. Then Ramananda Rai said, I never knew anyone who can ask what is beyond that. Now you are asking me the questions, so you are also empowering me to answer the questions. So if you provide me, if you empower me to answer these questions, then probably I will be able to answer. Then Ramananda Roy, in a very humble state of mind, started to describe that in Madhura Ras, Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna is dealing with many, many gopis. And the ultimate culmination of that Madhur exchange is the Rasa dance. And he said that Krishna was dancing in Rasa dance. In the first circle there were 8 gopis. In the second circle there were 100 gopis. And in this way the circles were becoming larger and larger. And in this way Krishna was dancing with 16,000 gopis. And but Krishna was dancing between 2 gopis in the circle, in the Rasa dance. But in the center, Krishna alone was dancing with 1 gopi. So this gopi must be very special. And then he started to describe that when this gopi became upset with Krishna and she left Rasa Mandali, then Krishna left all the other gopis and followed her. And in this way, Ramananda Roy established the identity of Srimati Radharani as the highest. So we can see how systematically our acharyas have established the super excellent position of Srimati Radharani. Radharani's relationship with Krishna is beyond even our imagination. How much she loves Krishna, we'll never be able to understand that. What to speak of us? Even Krishna himself couldn't understand what is the glory of Radharani's love. And that is why Krishna had to assume the position of Srimati Radharani, play her role as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in order to understand the glory of Radharani's love. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mohima Kidrisho. Pranaya Mohima, the glory of Radharani's love. Kidrisho, what is? How wonderful, how great, how profound is the glory of Radharani's love. Krishna wanted to find out. And he could not. Therefore, he had to come as the son of Mother Sachi. It has been described in Chaitanya Charitamrita that for three internal reasons, Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One is Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, as I just mentioned. Krishna wanted to find out the glory of Radharani's love. And then Shokhan Chasho Madhanubhavato Kidrisho Beti Lobhat. Before that, there is another factor. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Banoi Bashaddo Jenadbhuto Madhurima Kidrisho Ba Modiyo. What kind of sweetness is there? What kind of attraction is there in me that Radharani becomes attracted to me in this way? His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj just mentioned that Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini. Who is Madan Mohan? Madan Mohan is Krishna. And Madan Mohan Mohini, the one who enchants this Madan Mohan, the one who enchants, the enchanter of Cupid. Who is she? Srimati Radharani. So Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini, but still why Radharani is attracted to Madan Mohan? Madan Mohan wanted to figure that out. What kind of sweetness is there? He knows what kind of sweetness is there in Srimati Radharani. But he couldn't find out, he couldn't figure out what kind of sweetness is there in him that attracts Radharani in this way. And then, Shokhan Chasya Madanubhavato Kidrisho Beti Lobhat. By loving me, what kind of joy does Radharani experience? So Krishna became greedy, Lobhat. Krishna became greedy to understand these three reasons. The glory of Srimati Radharani's love, what kind of sweetness is there in him that attracts Radharani in this way that she goes mad. She leaves everything behind, nothing actually matters to her anymore. And loving him, what kind of joy does Radharani experience? In order to understand these three things, Krishna had to assume the mood of Srimati Radharani. And when he assumed the mood of Srimati Radharani, he also assumed the complexion of Srimati Radharani. And who is that? That is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is how Srimati Radharani's greatness, Radharani's glory has time and time again been established. So I'll briefly also describe something. Should we carry on? Oh, the other day I was mentioning about some pastimes of Krishna. So I have been requested if I could also tell that. The last Wednesday I told about some pastimes of Krishna to establish, just as Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj was establishing today, the chastity of Srimati Radharani. Radharani is the most chaste of all women. So this chastity of Radharani has been established in a most wonderful way in some pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. Radharani often gets the blame, especially from her mother-in-law and her sister-in-law, Jyotila and Kutila. By now you are very well acquainted with these two personalities. They are real troublemakers for Srimati Radharani. So they always, they suspect and they always tell that Radharani is very unchaste. Radharani is married to Abhimanyu, but Radharani is having some affairs with that dark, notorious prince of Vrindavan, Krishna. So, to give a few examples, one example is from Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion describes how Prabhupada is describing in Nectar of Devotion how one day when Abhimanyu left home and went to some distant place, then Krishna assumed the form of Abhimanyu and came to the house of Abhimanyu. So Jyotila, Abhimanyu's mother, asked, "What happened, Abhimanyu? You just left and you came back?" Now Abhimanyu said, "Yes, I actually thought that it's not really that important. I don't really need to go there." So Jyotila could understand. Okay, I understand. It's a newly married couple. Probably he was missing his wife, so he came back. So Jyotila didn't mind that he came back, and so Abhimanyu went to Radharani's room. So they were having intimate, loving exchange there. They were talking to each other. But then Abhimanyu came back in the meantime. So when Abhimanyu came back, Jyotila thought that this must be Krishna in disguise of Abhimanyu. So he picked up the broom and started to beat Abhimanyu up. And Abhimanyu started to cry, "Mother, mother, why are you beating me?" Then Jyotila said, "Yes, I am your mother. I am your mother." And she gave some more bashing with the broomsticks. So this is how Krishna performs his pastimes in Vrindavan. Now one day Krishna was in the room of Srimati Radharani. He just came and he was talking to Radharani. And Kutila, Radharani's sister-in-law, heard the talk. She distinctly heard that Krishna was talking to Radharani. They were laughing and joking. So Kutila thought, now I caught them. All this while she suspected that something was going on, but this time she caught them red-handed. But as soon as she just entered into the room, Krishna ran away, jumped out of the window and ran away. Kutila actually saw Krishna jumping out of the window. And now she caught them red-handed. And Kutila was telling Radharani was silent. Then he said, "Okay, he ran away, but still I saw him. So now I caught you." you are having an affair with him, you unchaste woman, a disgrace to our family. And then she saw that Krishna's flute was lying on the bed. He said, okay, he ran away, but we caught him. Now here is his flute also. Krishna ran away quickly, so he couldn't pick up his flute, and his flute was lying on the bed. So Kutila caught the flute with one hand and grabbed Radharani by another hand, and she dragged Radharani to the courtyard. And she called everybody, come, today we caught our Bahu red-handed. And she started eloquently, with articulate gestures and words, she was explaining what she found this time. And she says, see, the proof is, I found the flute. Radharani just started to shed silent tears. In the meantime, Purnamasi came. Purnamasi is Jogomaya, who makes all the arrangements for Radha Krishna's pastimes. She's an elderly lady. Although she's old, her hair is all white, but her face looks just like a young girl. She's old, but she doesn't look old. Her face looks just like a young girl, but she dresses a sari in a way an elderly lady would wear her sari. And her hair, as I said, is all white. And she is considered to be the most respectable woman of Vrindavan. So Purnamasi, everyone respected her. So Purnamasi came, and Purnamasi asked, what happened? Why my dear Radhika is shedding tears in this way? And why are you all gathered here like this? And then Kutila started to explain what actually happened. He said she started to tell them that she heard, and Krishna ran away, and she saw Krishna's flute on bed, and this is how it has been proven that Krishna came to her room, and Radharani is having an affair with Krishna. But Purnamasi started to laugh. And Kutila became very angry, and Jatila also joined her, said, what happened? Such a serious matter and you are laughing. Then Purnamasi said, don't you know? Last night there was a shower of flutes. And there are flutes everywhere, all over Vrindavan. Come, Kutila, let's go to your bedroom. And so they went to Kutila's bedroom, and they found the 2 flutes in her bedroom. And said, let's go to Jyotila's bedroom, and there she found 4 flutes. And in this way, Radharani's honor was saved by Purnamasi. But Radharani was feeling very sad. She was feeling, although Purnamasi had saved me, but I know what is the matter with me. I know that I am unchaste. I got married to Abhimanyu, but I can't develop a relationship with him. I don't even let him touch me. Abhimanyu, although he was Radharani's husband, but Abhimanyu couldn't touch Srimati Radharani. Actually, no one but Krishna can touch Srimati Radharani. So Abhimanyu is just a stooge, just a figurehead to enhance Radha Krishna's pastimes. She thinks that she is married to Abhimanyu, but actually they are not married. They don't have any relationship. But Radharani was feeling that she was so unchaste, and she felt that it is pointless maintaining my body. Let me give up my body. So she was contemplating in committing suicide. Now Krishna, who is situated in everyone's heart, knew what was going on in Radharani's heart. So Krishna then made some arrangement. Krishna was lying on Mother Jashoda's lap at that time. Then all of a sudden he fainted. And not only fainted, there was no sign of life in his body. Krishna was dead. But then Mother Jashoda noticed that there was some faint breathing is still going on. And she started to cry. Nanda Maharaj came out running. Said, what happened? Then Mother Jashoda told that Krishna fainted. It seems that he is dying. Do something. Please get a doctor. Nanda Maharaj said, yes, I'm going to get a doctor. So he just ran out of the house. And as he ran out of the house, he saw that one doctor was coming from the other side of the road. And so he told the doctor, he never saw this doctor before. He knows all the doctors in Vrindavan, but he seemed to be a new doctor in Vrindavan. So he said, are you a Vaid? Are you an Ayurvedic doctor? He said, yes. Then he said, you see, my son just fainted. Can you please treat him? He said, yes. I'm the greatest Ayurvedic doctor in the world. I can even make a dead man alive. Your son just fainted. Even if he died, I would make him alive. Don't worry. Come, let's go and see your son. So Nanda Maharaj got a lot of courage and he thought, okay, now this man is going to bring my son back to life. So the doctor checked Krishna's pulse, and as the Ayurvedic doctors do. And so he said, well, it's a serious matter. His condition is really serious. But there is a remedy available. Don't worry. So I told you that I have the remedy for everything. I can even make a dead man alive. He is just a little boy who just fainted, no problem. And all I will need is just some water from Jamuna. Nanda Maharaj said, oh, that's no problem. We'll get the water from Jamuna. He said, well, but this water you have to bring in a special way. And Nanda Maharaj said, how should I bring that? He said, you have to get a bucket with 1,000 holes in it. And you have to carry the water in that bucket. So Nanda Maharaj said, how is that possible? Now, how can anyone carry water with in a bucket with 1,000 holes? Then he said, yes. The doctor said, yes, that I know that is difficult to carry, but it's not impossible. The only thing is that a real chaste woman has to carry that water in that bucket. So Mother Jashoda immediately jumped up. He said, okay, I'll go and get it. So Kabira, the doctor said, no. If the mother brings the water, then it won't work. It has to be somebody other than the mother. So there were other ladies gathered there, so they all volunteered. So okay, we'll get it. But whoever tried to get the water in that bucket didn't work. So all of them tried, and some of them didn't even dare to try. And so the doctor then said, I'm terribly disappointed. He said, I used to think that all the ladies in Vrindavan are extremely chaste. But here I find that it's difficult to find even a single chaste woman in Vrindavan. Anyway, let me see. So he tried to make some astrological calculation. So after he made the calculation, he said, well, I found 2 really chaste women. So everyone became very excited and said, who are they? Who are they? The doctor said, one is Jatila and the other is Kutila. So Nanda Maharaj said, oh, they are my very close friends, they are my relatives, so I'll go and request them So Nanda Maharaj went and told them what the doctor said, that they are the most chaste women in Vrindavan. And Jyotila and Kutila said, finally somebody recognized. And there is, so they very proudly, they came and said, no problem, we'll carry the water. What's the problem? Just a matter of carrying a bucket full of water from Jamuna. So they went. Then Kutila said, Mother, you are old, you don't have to carry, you don't have to strain yourself, I will go and get the water. So Kutila very proudly picked up the bucket with how many holes? 1,000. And she went to Jamuna. And very proudly, very confidently, she pulled the bucket out of the water. What happened? All the water drained out. Jyotila was furious. He said, you, the disgrace to our family, you better drown yourself in Jamuna. He said, okay, I will go and get it now. So she went with the bucket to the water and picked up the bucket. Again, all the water drained out. The doctor now said, now I'm in trouble. Not a single woman in Vrindavan is chaste. Who can bring this water from the Jamuna? Nanda Maharaj said, please try something, please do something, otherwise my son is going to die. He said, okay, let me see. So he made some more calculations, astrological calculations. And he said, well, another name I can see. So everyone said, who is that? Who is that? Then he said, her name is Radhika. Jyotila and Kutila started to laugh. Radhika? Chaste? This man must be joking. Then the doctor told them, you shut up. Everyone saw who you are. So Mother Jashoda said, okay, I will go and bring Radhika. So Mother Jashoda went to the house and told Radhika about everything, how Krishna fainted and this doctor came and he wanted some water from Jamuna, but this has to be carried in a bucket with 1,000 holes in it. And all it needs, although it's impossible to carry water in such a bucket, but a chaste woman, a real chaste woman can carry this bucket full of water. And he said that only you can bring it. So Radharani started to cry because in her heart she felt that at least I know that I am not chaste. I am in love with Krishna in spite of being married to Abhimanyu. Then she started just shedding silent tears. Mother Jashoda said, come my dear, let's go. So with a faltering steps and with a drooping head, Radharani came there. She was standing in front of the bucket, hesitating to pick it up. Mother Jashoda told her, Radha, please, pick up the bucket. Radharani picked up the bucket, went to Jamuna, and with pounding heart, she lifted the bucket. Not a single drop of water fell out of the bucket. The bucket full of water was brought to the doctor, The doctor said, yes, this is the only chaste woman in Vrindavan. And he said, now no problem, don't worry. Your son has come back to life. It's only a matter of time. So he pulled up, took some water and chanted some mantra and sprinkled the water on Krishna. And Krishna immediately opened his eyes, sat up on Mother Jashoda's lap, as if he just woke up from a sleep. So in this way, it has been established that Srimati Radharani is the most chaste of all women. And with that understanding, in this way we can see that how the ultimate consideration of chastity is to become attracted to Krishna. Jai Srimati Radharani ki, Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radharani ki, Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani ki, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.